Happy New Year. Welcome back to Pass Your Life and Health Insurance Exam Podcast. I'm your host, Biko. I'm very excited to have you here again. Happy New Year. I've been going for a while, so it's been, I think, about 4 or 5 months since I did my last episode, but I'm so happy that you're listening to this. And I'm also happy that all of us made it over to the new year because there were a lot of people, millions of people who did not make it over to the new year. So, in this episode, I'm going to, number one, give you some updates, some things I've been working on in the background. Number two, I'm going to just give you a little, I'll say, inspirational or motivational um, talk. I don't mean to preach to you, but it's the new year. People make a lot of resolutions. People want to improve their lives and all of that. So I'll give you a little bit of pep talk. And last but not the least, I'm also going to, as usual, we're going to go over some core concepts in insurance. So, as I like to do, let's go ahead first and make sure you have your pen and paper ready. If you don't have a pen and paper, you have a laptop, you can take notes, or maybe you have your cell phone, you can take notes, but you want to be able to do exactly as I said. So here's what I want you to do. If you don't have a pen and paper, or if you're not in front of your laptop, or if you cannot take notes, I highly recommend that you pause this right now, go and find yourself something to take notes. All right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to, in your own words, define all of these terms, because every industry has their own lingo, they have their own jargons, they have their own vocabulary. In order to do well in the exam, you have to be able to understand the insurance jargons, the insurance vocabulary. If not, your chances of passing the exam will be very slim. So these are general insurance definitions. They probably will not ask you on the exam, what does this mean? But they're going to phrase the exam questions in such a way that the only way you're going to be able to understand those questions is by understanding those terminologies. If not, you're going to fail, because if you don't understand what the question is asking, how are you going to get the right answer? So take notes. Okay. So I hope you have your pen and paper ready and you're ready to take notes. Okay. So we're going to talk about 5 or 6 terms. Number one, I want you, in your own words, define insurance. What does insurance mean to you? In your own words, define insurance. So that's question number one. Again, please do as I said. No, don't say, oh yes, I will think of the answer. No, I want you to write it down, because when you write it down and when I explain it to you, it's going to make more sense and you're more likely to remember. So please write it down. Do not figure it out in your head. Write it down. Take a pen and paper. Write it down. Okay. So what is insurance? I want you to write it in your own words. Number two, what is risks? Number two, what is risks? Number three, what is peril? So in your own words, define these terms. Number four, what is loss? I want you to define loss, Loss. And number five, I want you to define hazard. What is hazard? For insurance, again, in insurance language, what does hazard mean? What does peril mean? Peril. What does peril mean? Okay. So at the end of the podcast, we're going to come back and I'm going to break all those terms down, because those are terminologies that you're going to see on your exam. So you have to really understand them. It won't be directly asked, but they'll expect you to know. All right. Okay. So now let's get into our episode. So as I told you guys, I've been away for a long time. I think my last episode was about 4 or maybe 5 months ago, or maybe even 6 months ago. So I've been away for a long time. So I know you guys are asking, what is going on? I've gotten a lot of feedback from people calling, texting, emailing, people saying, oh, your podcast, I've learned a lot. You've been very helpful. Thank you for helping me pass my exam. So we've done a lot of good things over the last few months. But one of the reasons I stepped back was I just felt burnt out. I had too many things on my plate. I have multiple businesses. Of course, I have the exam prep stuff. Then I'm a fully licensed life and health insurance agent. So I have my team members too. So, and I have family, social life, my personal life. So it was just too much. And I was trying to do a million things at the same time. And at the end of the day, you only have 24 hours in a day. You sleep 8 hours a day. So technically you have 16 hours. So there's so much, to do, but so little time. So at the end of the day, sometimes you have to take some things off your plate for you not to uh, crash and burn. So the podcast is one of those things I say, because doing this podcast, I'll be honest, it's time consuming. Sometimes it's not just one take. Sometimes I have to do 2, 3, 4 takes, just to get it right. Because sometimes I'll say the wrong thing and oh crap, that's a mistake. I got to go back and re-record, right? So it's very time consuming. And plus, it's not just something I sit down and just come and just speak. I have to write out an outline exactly what I want to say. I have to think about the questions. I have to prepare. So it's very time consuming. So I decided to take some time off. So that's one of the reasons I've been away. Second reason I've been away is we've been working on a lot of good things in the background here at Minzo Pass. So I have some great news to share with you guys. Number one, we have textbooks coming out, because I know some people prefer to have a textbook instead of doing online studies. Some people prefer to have a textbook where they can flip pages and highlight and all of that stuff. So if you live in Washington, D.C., good news. Our first textbook should be out in the next 2 weeks. So I'll say anytime before Valentine's Day, our textbook should be out. So for Washington, D.C. Now, if you live in Texas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nevada, our textbook should be out sometime before the end of February. So anytime before February 28th, we should have textbooks out for those 4 states. So that's good news for you. So textbooks are coming out. Second good news I have for you is that if you are a resident of Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, we have your pre-licensing self-study course. That should be out soon. I would say sometime in February again. That should be out before the end of February. So we have self-study courses coming out for those 3 states. But if you live in Washington, D.C., Nevada, in Iowa, Missouri, and Texas, we already have self-study courses for you. So check out our website, minzopass.com. We have the link to that website in the description. But check it out. You can be able to get our self-study courses. And I'll tell you, without a shadow of doubt, our self-study courses are the best in the industry. Right now, our pass rate is greater than 80%. Now, the industry average, according to the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, the industry average is about 37% So only on average 37% of people who take the life insurance exam will pass for the first time. So if you were to state that another way, that means 63% of people fail their life insurance exam. So why is the majority of people failing? That tells you that something is wrong. So we've been able to crack that code with our unique T80S20 strategy, and we have the highest pass rate in the entire industry, bar none. So you can also take our self-study courses. That's the other thing. The third good news I have for you is that I've had a lot of requests over the last few months, even though I've been away. People asking, "Oh, when is your boot camp? No, are you going to do a boot camp? Like live training where we come and learn from you?" So your questions are finally answered. So starting next week, actually starting Monday, we're going to have something called a challenge. So it's a 5-day challenge. And the purpose of that challenge is to prepare you to pass your exam within 5 days. So it's going to be me, you guys will join the portal. You're going to come. It's going to be live about 2 hours every day, Monday to Friday. You're going to come and I will teach you. You have the opportunity to ask me questions. We'll go through everything. And at the end of each class, you have an assignment. So I'm going to push you to your limit. You have to do a lot of time going through practice questions and doing some reading, but it's going to be intense. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a very intense training for 5 days. But the goal is at the end of those 5 days, you should hopefully be prepared to take your exam and pass if you do everything that you are supposed to do. So we have that challenge. It's called Pass Your Life Insurance Exam Challenge. And we have the link to the registration page for that. Is in the description. So you want to click on that, register for it, and we'll go from there. Other thing I want to let you know, fourth good news is we have an online membership. Effective this month, an online membership is called Next Level Academy. So pretty much of that online portal is just $29 a month. Now, what that $29 gets you is that you get on-demand training, right? Video training of me, and not just training, but you have other resources that will help to prepare you for your exam. So you have tons and tons of videos on there. You have me doing a lot of live training where you can be able to help, increase your chances of passing your exam. But we also have a community. So you're going to have students from all over the country. You'll be able to network, make friends. It's going to be an online community of a lot of people from different states. But you'll be able to make friends and network with other people that will be able to help you along this new journey that you've started. So it's called Next Level Academy. So it's not just exam prep. That is just one part. Second part of that membership is that after you pass your exam, then we have something called Growth Academy. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. So I'll just tell you from experience, I've been in this industry for almost 2 decades now. And I can tell you from experience, about 85% of life insurance agents fail. About 85% of life insurance agents fail. The overwhelming majority of life insurance agents do not make any money in their first year, right? Because what happens is people sell you this dream. Your recruiters will come and sell you this dream. Oh, look at how much money I've made. Look, I made $10,000 last month. I made $50,000 last month. So just get your license and boom, you're going to start making $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And you get hype. You go get your license, and after that, what happens? you go and sell insurance to your parents. Mom, dad, you need insurance? Nope, I'm not interested. Don't bother me. Go to your siblings, same thing. You go to your friends and relatives, same thing. So everywhere you go, people say, oh, don't bother me, I'm not interested. After a few months, all those high expectations come crashing down. People get discouraged. They're not making money. And not just that, but now, and most life insurance agents work as network marketing agents, right? So it's about who you know, you're selling to people you know. So after a while, you get discouraged because nobody is buying from you. And not just that, but you have your family members and friends. So people start avoiding you because they figure, oh, this person just wants to sell me insurance. That is why they're calling. So now you start losing, important relationships. Your friends or family members, will stop returning your calls and all that. So after a while, new agents get discouraged and they quit. The overwhelming majority of new agents quit in your first year. Why? Because they don't make any money and it's not what they think it is. But the good news is there are about 5 to 10% of people in the insurance industry that make a lot of money. When I mean a lot of money, 6 figures. Some of them even earn 7 figures every year. So 5 to 10% is doing extremely well in the insurance industry. So how do you go from being a new agent, to becoming from becoming a new agent to one of those 5 or 10% that succeeds? Well, this is where we have the second part of our next level academy. It's called Growth Academy. And you come and you learn from me. I've been in this thing for almost 2 decades now. If I could do things differently, if I could go back, I would do things completely differently. Why? Because there are a lot of mistakes I made. So you will come and learn from my mistakes. For example, you're going to learn about how to get leads. Do you get leads online? Do you get leads from referrals? All of the. But one of the biggest problems new agents face is how to get leads. So you're going to come and learn how to get leads, and not just one time, but get a constant stream of leads. Then when you get those leads, how do you convert them into clients? You're going to learn all of that. And then how do you get those clients to bring you more clients? And how do you scale your business? So it's a whole strategy. And I learned this from, I'll give all credit. His name is Myron Gordon. I'll have a link to his challenge for all you people who want to also run a successful business, life insurance business. I highly recommend you attend his challenge. You have 2 levels. You have the general admission is $100. The VIP is $300. But trust me, it is worth it. I'll have the link into that challenge. Full disclosure, I'm an affiliate. So when you click that link and you sign up, I'll get a small percentage. So that is it. So it's called Growth Academy. So what I want you to know is I'm here for you every step of the way, right? Minzo Pass is here for you every step of the way. We're not just helping you to get licensed, but after you get your license, then what? We're here to help you apply for your license, get your license, and also become a successful agent. So it's called the Next Level Academy membership. It's an online portal. It's great. Trust me, it's just $29 a month. It is nothing. I mean, it cost me $60 to fill up my tank. And I fill up my tank about twice a week, right? $60. So most people spend more than $30 to fill up their tank. So if less than the price of filling up your tank, you're investing in yourself, you're helping to increase your chances of succeeding in the insurance industry. So it's a no-brainer. It's just $29 a month, but you're making that investment in yourself that could pay you very well and make you to succeed where you could continue to make money in this insurance industry 10 years, 20 years from now, and be able to change your life and your family's life. So $29, trust me, I highly recommend it. You can come and try it. Hey, we have a free trial. Come and test it out for about 5 days. See if you like it. If you don't like it, you walk away. There's no harm, no foul. Test it out for 5 days. After 5 days, there's a 5-day free trial. Test it out. Don't like it, you cancel. No, you don't pay anything. If you like it, you stay. But I guarantee you will like it. So that's the other thing we have. So we have so many great things on the way. And then also this podcast now is going to be streaming on YouTube. So you're not just going to listen, but you also have the opportunity to watch this on YouTube also, right? Because there are some people who are visual, they like to see, right? So this is also on YouTube. I have the link to our YouTube page in the description. We're also going to be coming to you on TikTok. So we have our TikTok page that will be up. We'll be providing tons of content in our TikTok page too. So you also want to make sure you follow us on TikTok. So you're going to see us on TikTok, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. We're going full force. So you'll find us everywhere. So that's the other thing. Now, one thing I want you to know about is that here's the thing. You are in a very good industry. A lot of times people say, oh, I'm just a life insurance agent. No, I tell people, you're not just a life insurance agent. You're more than a life insurance agent, right? Yes, will you sell life insurance? Absolutely. But you can do much more than just sell life insurance. You can do 401k rollovers. Think about a lot of people, your family members, friends. Think about people who quit their jobs or got fired and they have their 401ks there and they need to roll their 401ks over into an annuity or something else, right? So if you help them roll over their 401k, you get paid for that. So you can do 401k rollovers. You can do annuities. You can do college savings plans. You can be able to do so many things. So that's my little motivation for you, to let you know that, hey, you know what? You're not just a life insurance agent. You're a full-fledged financial professional, because with this license, you can be able to do much more than just sell life insurance. It's almost like a mechanic. Telling a mechanic he's an oil changer doesn't make sense, right? Because the mechanic can change your oil, your car oil. He can fix your car engine. He can do so many things. So can he change your engine oil? Absolutely, but he's not limited to that. That's one of the least things that your mechanic does. So you're not a life insurance agent, you're a financial professional. Okay. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So we have the link to all those things I just talked about. We'll have it in the description. Now, yes, the other thing, I just want to touch on this. And if I come across as me trying to preach, please forgive me, but let me preach a little bit. It's the new year. A lot of people want new things. Some people, want maybe to lose weight, make more money, get in a relationship, whatever it is. Everybody has some kind of New Year's goal. Everybody wants improvement. Sometimes we focus on what we don't have, and it's human nature, but we focus too much on what we don't have, what we lack, and we fail to take stock of what we do have. And truth be told, most of what we need we already have. I'll say about maybe we have about 80% of what we need, and maybe 20% of what we need we don't have. But we tend to focus on those on that 20% and worry about it, get depressed, you know, get anxiety, all of those things. But we neglect the 80% that we do have. So I just want to let to just let you know that you can, one of your goals for this year, for 2024, should be to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Oh man, that sounds poetic. It rhymes, right? I want you to cultivate an attitude of gratitude, because here's the fact: you are better off than millions or even billions of people in the world. You should be very grateful. Number one, you may say, "Damn, my life is messed up right now. What should I be grateful for?" Well, let me tell you. First thing, you should be grateful for life. You think, I mean, there are millions of people who died last year, millions of people around the world, millions of people who died last year, but you are able to make it over to the new year. I lost a very dear friend of mine. I lost her last year, no, due to heart attack. She passed away young, in her 30s. She didn't make it over to the new year. So there are millions of people who died last year, but you are still alive. You know what that means? If you're alive, there is still hope for you. So life is something to be grateful for. Next thing to be grateful for is good health. Sometimes we take our health for granted. One of my aunties just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer a few weeks ago. Stage 4. If you know anything about cancer, stage 4 is the worst possible diagnosis anyone can get. And now she's fighting for her life. Right now, she will trade places with you in a heartbeat. So you have good health. Think about millions of people lying down in the hospital beds right now. They just wish they could get their health back. So you have life, you have health. Those are two things for you to be grateful for. Other thing, you have people to love you. Yes, you may be single, you may not have, you may not be married or whatever, but you got parents who love you. I'm assuming you have maybe children who love you. You have siblings who love you. You have relatives who love you. You have people who care about you, people who love you. A lot of people don't have that. You also have food to eat. It may sound very trivial. Oh, come on, food. But there are a lot of people around the world who their only wish is, where am I going to get my next meal from? And you have roof over your head. Think about it. We have, I'll say, hundreds of thousands of homeless people all over America. Just drive around any major city in America right now, whether it's in DC or Philadelphia or LA, New York. Drive in any big city in America, you're going to see a lot of homeless people. Winter time. I mean, imagine being homeless winter time, and these people are sleeping in the streets. But you have roof over your head. It may sound very minor, very trivial, but there are a lot of people who would trade places with you in a heartbeat. So that is something you should be grateful for. But last and not the least, peace and security. What's going on in Gaza right now, in Palestine, is very heartbreaking. Just think about it. There are people who go to bed every single day in Gaza right now who are not sure if they're going to make it to the next day because of the war that's going on. Almost 30,000 people have been killed in just a span of 2 to 3 months. Almost 30,000. Think about that for a second. Almost 30,000 people have been killed in the span of 3 months. And not just Gaza, but a lot of places around the world. Congo. I mean, you just name it. Ukraine. There are a lot of people facing dire situation out there who are in war zones, and their relatives are getting killed, friends are getting killed, loved ones are getting killed, and their only wish is, how can I get out of this? So you don't have to worry about that. So those are just 6 reasons to be grateful. And people ask, oh, what's your resolution? Well, one of my resolutions for this year is to develop, is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Because sometimes on this journey we call life, as we go on this journey, we just look at what is ahead. We look at what's ahead and we look, oh my God, I have a long way to go. But sometimes when you look back, you realize, oh my God, I've come a long way. God took me from nowhere to even me. Like, I shouldn't be where I am right now. I'll be honest. But for the grace of God and his favor, I shouldn't be where I am right now. I grew up in refugee camps during the Liberian Civil War. There were a lot of people growing up I knew who got killed in the Civil War. I shouldn't be where I am right now. So sometimes I even try to get down on myself and try to be hard on myself. Oh my God. But I look at where I came from, this African refugee, this kid that goes sometimes, days without food. This kid is now an author, podcaster, a pharmacist. So all I want you to do is to take stock of what you have achieved, because what you have, I just gave you 6 examples. What you have is more than what you lack. So cultivate an attitude of gratitude. And if you do that, trust me, you're going to notice something very different in 2021, in 2024. You're going to be happier, and you're probably going to be wealthier. So cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Okay. So now let's get into our lesson. So I hope you wrote all of that down. So I told you that we're going to define all those terms. So number 1, I told you to define what is insurance, right? So insurance, just know for exam purposes, insurance is the transfer of risks. Okay? So there are 5 methods of handling risks. First method of handling risks is, well, I'll give you the acronym STAR. STARR. STAR. STARR. So if you're in California, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, this more than likely will be on your exam. Okay? So the methods of handling risks. Your STAR stands for risk sharing. So you're sharing your risks with other people. T stands for transfer. You're transferring your risks. A stands for avoidance. The first R stands for retention. And the second R stands for reduction. So again, when you join our online membership, one of these lessons, I'll go into more details for the for this podcast, I won't go into that right now because it's going to be a lot. But just know that you have 5 methods of handling risks. And the acronym for those are STAR, STARR. Makes it easy to remember. Now, that T stands for transfer. So what is insurance? Insurance is simply the transfer of risks. We know that life itself is a risk. So you are just transferring that risk to the insurance company. So what is the risk? The risk is that uncertainty of death, of that uncertainty of financial loss when you die. Let's say you're bringing 100,000 a year into your family, you're earning money, and boom, you die tomorrow. So now your family has a loss of $100,000 every year. So your family is not earning that money. No, it's not coming into your household. So insurance is there to say, okay, you know what? When I die, my family is not going to be able to have this money coming into the household anymore. So when I die, I'm transferring that risk of financial loss, right? When I die, my family is going to experience financial loss. And what people don't know is that most families, after the death of the breadwinner, according to Market Watch, within 7 years after the death of a breadwinner, if there's no life insurance, within 7 years after the death of a breadwinner, most families go into poverty. They lose their homes because they can't afford to pay the mortgage. Think about it, right? Even with 2 incomes, mom and dad working, you can barely survive. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck, even with 2 incomes. So what more if you have loss of 1 income? That person is dead. So that is what makes life insurance very, very important. So you are just transferring that risk to the insurance company. So know that insurance is the transfer of risk. Okay. So again, insurance is the transfer of risk. Know that. All right. Next thing. Yeah, I said I was going to go over these definitions. And if you get our book, you have all of this in the book. I'm taking this from our textbook. So next thing I said here that was on our list is risks. So what is risks? Maybe wondering what is risks? Well, risks is just the uncertainty of a loss. Risks is the uncertainty of a loss. As I said, all of us don't know anything. No, you can't predict the next day, or you can't even predict the next second. So risk is the uncertainty of loss. Now, there are 2 types of risks. You have pure risks and speculative risks. I just hope that you're taking notes because these are things that will probably be on your exam. You have 2 types of risks, pure risks and speculative risks. Know that insurance only covers pure risks. Now, what is pure risks? Pure risks is a risk where if there's a loss due to that risk, you can only experience, if you take that risk and something happens, you can only experience a loss. So for example, if I'm driving and I'm involved in an accident, my car gets damaged, I can only experience a loss. There will be no gain for me being in an accident. If my house burns down, there is no gain for me. If I lose my life, there is no gain to my family, right? So insurance only covers risks that there is no potential for gain. And that's called pure risks. The second type of risks is called speculative risks. So when you think speculative, best example is think about gambling. Speculative risks is a risk where there is potential for either a gain or a loss. So I'll give you guys a quick story. When I was in college, this was long time ago. We went to Vegas, and when you go to Vegas, of course, people play the machines. You go to the casino. So my friends were playing, the slot machines. Some of them were spending 200 and 300, $500, and I took $1 bill and I put that $1 bill in the slot machine. When I lost that $1 bill, I just walked away. My friends are like, "Oh, come on, Biko, you got to play more, man. You got to put more money in." I said, "Nope, I ain't losing any more money," and I walked away. But some of my friends, some of them put in $50 and they walk away with $600-700. I don't know how they did it, but they won. Some of them put in $200-300 and they lost it all, right? So speculative risks is a risk where there is a potential for gain. So you could go and gamble, you could walk away with money, you could lose all your money, but there's a potential for both gain and loss. Know that insurance never ever covers speculative risks. So for exam purposes, know that insurance never covers speculative risks. Insurance only covers pure risks. So now we talk about risks. Risks is what? The uncertainty of a loss. And we said the two types of pure and speculative, and insurance only covers pure risks. Now, you may say, but what is a loss? Okay, so a loss in simple language is just a reduction in value. So risk is the uncertainty of a loss, and a loss is a reduction in value. So, so let's come back to a car. Driving is a risk because anytime you're driving, you could get in an accident. So when you get in an accident, there's a reduction in financial value because your car, let's say your car was worth $10,000, but now you get involved in an accident, your car is total, right? Now your car is worth maybe $1,000 or $2,000. So there's a reduction in financial value. So that reduction in financial value is your loss. That is what a loss is. Now, the other definition here is peril, P-E-R-I-L. Peril is the direct cause of a loss. What caused that reduction in financial value is your peril. So, for example, let's take the example of the car. So you are driving. Driving is a risk, right? Because there's uncertainty of, there's uncertainty of loss. You could get involved in an accident and your car gets damaged, or worse, you could lose your life, right? So there's uncertainty. Every time you get behind the wheel, there's uncertainty of either an accident happening. When that accident happens, you could die or something bad will happen. So the accident would be the peril. So peril is the exact direct cause of a loss. So driving is the risk. Accident is the peril because that's what's causing the reduction in financial value. Because when you have that accident, your car is damaged. Now your car is worth less. There's a reduction in financial value, and you have to spend money to repair the car, right? So now that is it. Let's get to life insurance example. So for example, if you were to die, there will be a reduction in financial value for your family, right? So that reduction in financial value is caused by what? Your death. So what caused that reduction in financial value? Your death. So death would be the peril. Understood? Now, let's come to the next term here. What does hazard mean? So just know, again, for insurance, hazard is anything that increases the potential of a risk. Or if you put another way, hazard is anything that increases the chance of a loss. So, for example, it's snowing and then you're speeding. Maybe speed limit is 45 and it's snowing and you're going at 65 miles an hour. That speeding is increasing your chance of an accident. So the speeding so driving is going to be the risk. Speeding is going to be that hazard because it's increasing your chance of of an accident. The accident is going to be the peril because it's going to be the cause of the loss, and your car now is worth less due to that accident. So that's the loss. That is the reduction in financial value. So now let's talk about let's talk about hazard. You have three types of hazards. You have physical hazard. That means you're physically doing something, like if you're driving and you're speeding, that is a physical hazard. You're actively doing something to cause that. The second type of hazard is moral hazard, M-O-R-A-L. So when you think moral, think honesty, think integrity. So a good example of this, and will usually be on your test, they'll give you a scenario about this client lie on their insurance application. Mary Jean filled in an application for life insurance and she intentionally lied on her life insurance, blah, blah, blah. They'll give you a scenario and they'll say, based on this, what kind of risks is this? They'll give you, what type of hazard is this? They will say the physical hazard, moral hazard, none of the above. So it's going to be moral hazard. So when you lie on your application, that is dishonesty, right? Moral. You don't have any morals. You are dishonest. So when you think moral, think dishonesty, because that increases the chance of a loss for the insurance company. The third type of loss is morale, M-O-R-A-L-E. So when you think morale, think carelessness. A good example, let's say you're cooking and you have food on the stove, you have the stove on, and you walk out of your house to run to the post office. But yet and still, you leave your stove on, food is on the stove, is cooking, and you leave your house. No one is in the house. You leave your house and you go to the post office. That is carelessness, right? That is carelessness. So by doing that, you just increase your chance of a fire, right? You just increase your chance of a loss, because when a fire, if your house catches on fire, your house will probably burn down and your house will be worth less, right? So there'll be a reduction in value. So that fire is going to be the peril. You leaving your food, on the stove and walking away is going to be that morale hazard, right? And of course, when your house burns down, there will be a loss because your house is worthless. So what I like to do, I like to use acronyms or mnemonics, to help me remember. So think about this. You can either do PMP, right? PMM. So P will stand for physical, M stands for morale, other M stands for morale. So PMM, or you can do PM squared. For those of you who know math, PM squared. So that means physical, moral, and morale. So that is it. Again, these are insurance definitions. They're probably not going to ask you directly, what does pure risk mean, or what does moral hazard mean? No, but they're going to give you scenarios that in order to get that question right, you have to understand the meaning of that. So I hope this helped you. Again, welcome to the Pass Your Life and Health Insurance exam. We have a lot of great things coming up. One thing I'll just say quickly is that another change we're going to make, and I almost forgot about it, but exciting change is that effective this month, we're going to be doing 2 episodes a week. In the past, I was doing 1 episode every week, but now we're going to do 2 episodes every week. So now we'll do 1 episode, like a pre-licensing training episode, so helping you to pass your exam. And then another episode during that week will be new agent training. Because as I said, you get your license, then what? You have to know how to get clients, how to get leads, how to scale your business, all of those things. So, we're going to do that. So 1 episode every week will be training you, training new agents. And then the other episode will be helping you to pass your exam. So the good thing about that, now, even after you pass your exam, you will still need to listen. You still need to listen to this podcast because it's going to help you to succeed as an agent. So I want to say thank you very much for watching and for listening. If you're on YouTube right now, or if you're listening to the podcast, don't forget to like, follow, comment. Please leave a review if you're listening to this podcast on Audible, Spotify, wherever, Apple Podcasts. Please leave a review. It's very, very important because your review will help other people to discover this podcast. So please leave a review. And last but not the least, if you're watching on YouTube or TikTok or anywhere, please comment, follow, and share. Until next time, please be safe out there, and I'll see you.